dangerous predators all around.
Stilgar is the leader of the Fremen. He is a powerful character. He's a warrior, but also is a warrior. He worries about the future.
Take good care of your family. Dr. Kynes, on the surface, was seemingly just somebody who's an ecologist, someone who cares about the Fremen. But then you start to understand how much pressure she is actually under.
Paul is dreaming about this strange young woman that keeps talking to him in his dream.
Paul.
She feels like an old friend again and someone that wants to guide him.
Follow the friend.
Johnny is native to Arrakis. She's used to this hostility between her people and the people that are trying to take from her land. She's a fighter at the end of the day.
House Atreides and the Harkonnen have an ancient grudge, and the forces that they're up against are much greater than he had anticipated.
They're on a path of conflict, and it's the moral catalyst to Paul's arc towards something greater.
My friends, if you look at the very first mountain there.
Denis Villeneuve is simply an incredible director. His passion for the material, first and foremost, the earmarked copy of Dune on set that was battered and beaten and bruised with his passion.
I discovered the book in my youth, in my teenage years. I remember being fascinated by its poetry, by what it was saying about nature. It's very powerful and complex story. Still, we try to approach it from a simple angle. I dreamed about Dune for a very long time. But at the end of the day, what will move the audience will be the performance of the actors.
He knows exactly what he wants. He's loved this book since he was 14. He's had this movie in his mind. This is one of his dream movies.
I asked him once if what he is making now looks like what he had imagined. And he said yes.
There's something quite vulnerable and incredible when it comes to Denis' films and characters.
What Denis done, it's so dreamlike. It feels like this phantasmagoric fever dream.
Action! Go, 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 go. He's a nice, warming, caring, funny, intelligent person that reminding them the joy of why we do what we do, which is to imagine and to create something that doesn't exist.
He is a director who really understands how to create the most creative set, the ambiance for people to be at their best.
To see him with the others just having a good old laugh between shots and takes, it just makes it feel like family working with him.
I found Denis to be one of the best collaborators I've ever worked with because we immediately started talking about the scenes and talking about the book. He was always incredibly open to a lot of these things and open to exploring it further.
Denis is so thoughtful with everything that he does. I don't think there's any part of anything that he hasn't thought through like a million times.
For me, cinema is an art form, so I want the audience to be blown away. I want them to be excited, but what they will take out of it, that belongs to the audience.
This is only the beginning.
For me, I love makeup when I don't see it. I started to work with Donald Moat. I was very impressed by his sensibility. Donald is all there for the characters. He's very subtle, very precise.
Come on, old man.
I think one of the most interesting things working with Denis is you kind of come to the table with sort of an open slate. You start with certain references, and I'll bring him pictures, and we sort of compare notes. So we talked about some of the things that really stood out. Obviously, the Baron. Certainly anything to do with the main cast. We really covered each character. Certainly with Josh's scar, it started off from less is more, but sometimes the simplest things are really difficult for people to believe.
He was scarred by Dave Bautista, who if I had anybody who I would want scarring me, it would be him. Because I love Dave.
You never met Harkonnens before. I have. They're not human, they're brutal.
The Harkonnens have a clean-shaved face, kind of smooth, and eyebrow blockers, which is quite a complex makeup.
The makeup lends so much to the character. I mean, the first time I looked in the mirror when the makeup artist completed the look for the day, I just saw Piter. It's amazing.
Uncle, how can we let this happen? How can the Emperor take everything we've built?
I I knew the Baron would be big, but it really is big.
Arrakis is Arrakis. And the desert takes the weak.
I thought of friends of mine who are based in Sweden. Luve and Eva created the whole suit. So it's a huge, huge undertaking.
I had long discussions with Denis about where I wanted to go with it, and that he looked different, that he had a presence that you hadn't seen before.
It was difficult because I didn't want the Baron to look like a caricature. I wanted to feel a menace of that massive human being and that weight.
Kill them all.
Stellan was quite frightening as the Baron. Fantastic performance.
We worked incredibly hard at making something that we hope people will like and value for kind of some artistic merit and contribution.
People are hungry to see a fantastic, well-told, interesting story. And I hope that they see something they didn't expect to see.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
You missed my mother in her own home.
Come here!
The camera does. We discovered you in the foreground.
Oh, okay, great.
Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain.
Silence! Oh, yes.
I will go back.
Ok.
Yeah, things and it's rough.
Meuf, c'est pas moi.
4% slower, 5% slower, 6%.
We could have been here actually all day on this one.
Yeah, I know.
So thank goodness we finally
Understood each other.
Do not brush against the bush lest you leave a thread to show the way. Where we go, no one must follow.
Because he is there.